Hello! Well, this afternoon things generally stay dry for many of us across the country. There's more cloud around the eastern parts of the North Island, still a few showers to get rid of, but for most of us it's a dry end to the day. You can see there's more cloud pushing back towards the western coast of the South Island, and we have got more rain just waiting to come towards us and some windier weather for the daytime on Tuesday as well. Overnight tonight, generally staying dry and clear for most of the North Island. Might catch an odd shower just skirting the far northern parts. On the South Island, dry and fine from, say, Nelson around towards Marlborough and down through Canterbury. More cloud in the west and that next lot of rainfall and windier weather just waiting to come towards us for Tuesday. Now, overnight tonight, low temperatures back to around about 7 degrees Celsius through parts of Waikato and Taupo. On the South Island, a bit more cloud. It's not as cool down there, but I think we are going to find temperatures down to about 10 degrees in places like Christchurch. Through the daytime on Tuesday, we are going to find that wet weather moves northwards. It feeds on towards Fiordland and Western from the morning time, reaching in towards Southland and Otago. Ahead of it, more cloud, and we'll find by the end of the day some patchy rain up towards the likes of Canterbury. On the North Island, well, most of the day it's dry and clear. There's more cloud arriving in Taranaki, Horowhenua, the Kapiti Coast by the end of the day, perhaps enough to bring a few spots of rain, but most of the day it's a dry, clear one on the North Island. Down south is where the activity will be. We've got some strong winds ahead of this front, and you can also see with that low pressure out towards the east, the winds are wrapping around that, and some stronger winds to end the day and some colder air back towards places like Dunedin as we finish the day. There is a strong wind watch in place. Now this covers those southern parts of Fiordland, the far southern parts of Southland, south about Winton, and also the southern parts of Clutha, south of about Balclutha as we head through the afternoon on Tuesday. Those winds picking up, perhaps reaching gusts of around about 90, even 100 kilometres an hour in the most exposed areas. So about a blustery old story. But for the North Island on Tuesday, it's a relatively settled day. We've got plenty of clear sky and sunshine to start the day. Bit of a cool start first thing, but not as cold as we saw last week. As we head through the daytime, we'll find more cloud being pushed on towards these western-facing coasts, places like New Plymouth, and perhaps even in towards Palmerston North. But I think more cloud up about the tops of the ranges, and we might find a few spots of rain there. Generally, I think places like Wellington, staying dry, areas of cloud coming and going. And by the end of the day, we might find a touch more cloud up in Auckland. But for most of the day, Auckland, Northland, the Coromandel, Bay plenty, look to be staying dry. Perhaps an odd early shower about the likes of Great Barrier Island, but that clears off pretty quickly. And down this eastern coast, staying dry with top temperatures in Napier and Gisborne of around about 25 degrees Celsius, similar to what we'll find up in Tauranga. And you'll notice overnight temperatures nowhere near as cool as in fact most of us staying firmly in double digits. For the South Island, there is more weather to talk about. We're finding that rainfall moving in pretty much on the word go in towards parts of Fiordland and Southland. That moves northwards, heaviest about the higher ground of the Western Ranges, but you find wet weather feeding in towards Southland, Otago, and even towards parts of Canterbury by the end of the day. If you're in Nelson or Blenheim, I think you'll find it stays dry throughout the daytime, some nice spells of sunshine, but even through parts of Buller, we'll find it does turn cloudier and wetter through the daytime. And for Christchurch, we'll find that cloud thickening up by the end of the day. Might catch a spot or two of rain, but I think most of the wet weather down in the south. We have got this area of low pressure forming here, which is going to give a good squeeze to those southerly winds as we head towards the end of the day. And I think that's going to introduce some cold air back with us down towards the south, so making it feel pretty cold in those exposed areas like the Otago Peninsula and Banks Peninsula by the time we head it through into Wednesday as well. But I think in terms of our temperatures, warmest ahead of that front for places like Christchurch, we could get to 25, and up in towards Blenheim, 26 degrees Celsius. And again, not as cold in the northern areas, but we'll notice our nighttime temperatures cooler as we head in towards the early hours of Wednesday morning down in the southern parts of the country. Speaking of Wednesday, well, we'll find that front that moves northwards. It's a much weaker affair by the time it gets towards the north. It might bring a few bits of showery weather in towards parts of Auckland and Northland, but more cloud than anything else. Generally, it's this southerly that's going to be really noticeable for Banks Peninsula, around the Kaikoura coast, perhaps in towards Wellington, Wairarapa, driving at some wet weather and clouds through there, but also generating a fair bit of swell around those exposed eastern and southern facing coasts. So things like to watch out for through there. But on that western coast of the South Island, it's a dry looking day on Wednesday. And I think only after any early cloud clears away on the western side of the Northland. Again, you've got plenty of dry weather through there. And for Thursday, well, this system continues to pull away and more dry, fine weather rebuilds back across us. But it's worth saying our temperatures will be a fair bit cooler on Wednesday. That's it from me as we're on metservice.com.